Hola, gringas y gringos, and welcome to
Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week we're going to wrap up Valladolid. That means we're going to give you all the numbers and give you our final impressions coming up right after this.
And welcome back. So as Mark said, we're about to wrap up our cost of living for the month that we spent in Valladolid. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by these numbers. And I think you will be too.
About time we got a pleasant surprise. We've had enough of the others.
Okay, so I like to say that my goal has always been to try to keep this under $3,000 US per month, and that really hasn't been easy to do for a couple of varying factors, one of which has been the change in exchange rate.
Yes.
And the other has been that, well, Airbnb rates are increasing consistently.
Yes, and rapidly. I
Yeah.
mean, they're going up, and we haven't helped it when we've spent more than that just on the Airbnb. That sort of shot that down right at the beginning.
It did. And it just so happens that, well, we don't really have a choice. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm advancing through our slide deck here. We just don't have a choice. You really can't do short-term 1 to 3 month rentals on just rent.
Nope.
So we have to rely on Airbnb. And because of that, it's a necessary evil. We have decided, I think that we're going to, moving forward, try to normalize what that would be in rent. So we are going to give you numbers in Airbnb prices, but then I'm also going to show you what that would have been in rent, so that it just speaks a little more truth to what it really does cost to live.
Yeah, and
You know.
it also speaks as to how much Airbnb takes. Just
True.
yes.
This is true. So at the time that we started this journey and we were putting everything together and making our reservations, the exchange rate was approximately 20 pesos to a US dollar. That was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, well, it's been going up and down quite a bit.
Went way down. Now it's coming up a little bit.
And it's hovering around 7.2 at the moment.
Yeah, it got up 17.5 earlier this week, so
That's
it's
good.
sort of.
Also, we have a new mic. Really hoping this works out well.
We're hoping.
We're hoping. All right. So the exchange rate there, we're going by about a 17.2%. Now, our Airbnb for the month in Valladolid truly was overpriced. And we mentioned that in a previous video that you'll see up here, what
Yeah.
we paid for that Airbnb.
Yeah, when we did the walkthrough, we gave everybody the price, and we paid for location, and more location.
Yeah, it strictly was a location-priced Airbnb. It really didn't have a lot of things that you would expect to have in a home in general, and so it's a location-priced Airbnb. We were in Centro, walking distance to everything, and for that convenience, our Airbnb for 1 month was 43,812 pesos, or approximately 2,555 US dollars. Now, we also spent one night in an auto motel. That was only 700 pesos for the night, or about $41. But what if we paid rent? Well, if we had paid rent, our Airbnb would have probably been more around 21,906 pesos, or around $1,278 a month.
Yeah, I figured $1,300 a month.
Yeah.
We'd have hit the number.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. That's our normalization there. We're going to give you the Airbnb price, but when we actually figure out what our real cost of living would have been at the end of the month, we're going to try to compare that with a rent rate rather than an Airbnb rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we will not be in Airbnbs forever. It's only going to feel like forever. But
I know. And in comparison, what we thought was going to be our most expensive Airbnb stay in San Miguel de Allende ended up being $1,709 a month. But then we stayed in a luxury place in El Tejar and really blew our budget. And that was $2,586 a month.
So for $30 less, that's what we paid in Valladolid compared to
Yeah.
El Tejar.
I mean, it's just about a wash between how much we paid between El Tejar and Valladolid. But what we got in El Tejar was like 10 times bigger.
It may have been a wash on paper, but not in reality.
That's true. All right, activities for the month. Honestly, this consists of one trip to Ekbalam and one trip to the San Bernardino convent. And the San Bernardino convent was a very small amount of money. So the majority of this is coming from Ekbalam. And that includes the cost of our tour guide. So 1,552 pesos for the month, or $91 US.
Yeah, we actually did pretty good. I mean, we did a fair amount, but we didn't do a lot of things that cost us money. So other than Ekbalam.
This one made me so happy, but there's a good reason for it. We spent 6,245 pesos in a month in groceries. Now that includes anytime we stopped at a convenience store of any kind, like OXXO, or grabbed something like a churro, or an ice cream at Ekbalam. It also includes any trip we made to the Mercado. That came to $367 US a month. Definitely less than 500, which was always my goal. We kept it under 500. I was very excited about that. But we kind of knew that was going to happen.
That was sort of expected because we didn't really have a real kitchen. I mean, it was sort of working on a
Camp stove?
Camp stove. So, that means that money that went down there is now probably going to show up over here because of going down Pollo Row and
All the chicken.
all the other places that we ate. So,
And it's also because Valladolid only has like one grocery store.
yes.
There's the Mercado, there are tiendas, and there is one very small Shadrui. So it's not like we could just go hop in a car and go take a ride to Costco or to a Walmart or another grocery store and just jump around like that. And
No.
the selections were limited. So we bought what we needed,
Yep.
and that was it.
Yep.
Okay, so this number never really changes.
Nope.
The only one that changes really is the pesos. So it actually went down 5,120 pesos, but in reality, this was all paid in advance with US dollars. It's $32 a month for our auto insurance, and it's $273 a month for our Nomad insurance, which we're going to mention the Nomad insurance.
Safety wing.
Safety Wing Nomad Insurance is what we have. You will find the link below if you're interested in getting similar coverage.
Yep.
This was kind of like a blanket coverage for us until we could sit with someone and get regular medical insurance in Mexico. It's a glorified traveler's insurance plan. And traveler's insurance typically doesn't want to really cover you for a long period of time. And so the rates will go up to some ridiculous amount of money if you try. Whereas Safety Wing will cover you for up to a year at a time, and then you have to apply for a new policy.
Well, because you're older, they get to charge you more money.
That's true. And
Yeah.
it goes up with age.
Yeah.
But it's catastrophic coverage, and it's better than having nothing.
Covers the derriere in case something really goes bad.
Indeed.
Yes.
Medical expenses. Pretty much we made some purchases at the Farmacia. One of the purchases we did a very short video on was about parasites. This is something nobody wants to talk about, but it is recommended in Mexico that you take an anti-parasitic agent twice a year. So we bought that. And we did get some things, some prescriptions filled.
Got my muscle relaxers done.
Yeah, and I got some of my meds filled, but I can't, diclofenac. I
Yeah.
got some diclofenac, that's right. So that was 390 pesos for the month, and that comes out to $23. Yeah, cheaper than copay.
Yes. Infinitely.
Personal services. Okay, so personal services is going to include things like, I don't know, hair salons, nail salons, massages, a maid service, pool service if we pay for it, laundry services,
Yeah.
things like that. Just something.
And we did, I did get a haircut, and we did take clothes to the lavanderia because we didn't have any laundry service there.
Right.
Uh,
We got, his haircut was 55 pesos, including a tip. Laundry service was 280 pesos. Massages, 1,600 pesos. And then we tipped our housekeeper who came in and did a wonderful job cleaning up. It was included with the rate of the Airbnb, so we left him a tip.
Yep.
That came to 2,135 pesos for the month, or $126.
Not bad.
Not bad. We're getting to the restaurants. All right, so the food. Let's talk about the food for a minute. We paid a total of 7,822 pesos, or $460. Now, that includes the tips,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 16 meals. In those 16 meals, 2 of those meals were almost a total of $100 each. Those were the fancier meals.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was closer to 50. The rest of those were mostly less than 300.
Between Don Diablo and Le Bistro,
Mm-hmm.
those were the two that were,
The most expensive.
yeah, I think that a quarter of that number almost came from Don Diablo by itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about. I mean,
Yeah.
we had 2 meals that were close to $100, and that was the Bistro and Don Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the better part of this actually is it says 16 meals, but it was actually more than 16 meals because every time we went to Rosti Pollo,
Oh yeah,
that ended up being at least
Yeah. it's true.
2 meals.
Anytime we went down chicken row, pollo row, whatever we bought was at least 2 meals worth
Yeah.
of food. And even the food we got at Ekbalam, that was
Oh,
easily
good.
2 meals worth of food, maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. So we cooked about half of the time we were there. And we ordered food
Mm-hmm.
the other half of the time we were there. I was really pleasantly surprised by these numbers. If you were to add them together, that is $800 for the month total in food.
Food and groceries, yeah.
Okay, transportation for the month. I actually did take out a whole lot of numbers from this because I didn't want to include the transportation costs it was costing us from Veracruz to Valladolid. We hit a lot of toll booths.
We did.
And then we had some gas tank fill-ups. But just in Valladolid alone, we had 1 major gas fill-up and we had parking one time, Ekbalam.
Ekbalam for $100,
And
100
I
pesos,
think
yeah.
that was it. So in total, it was 1,096 pesos or $64 for the month. Oh, and we had a taxi ride. One
We did.
very inexpensive taxi ride. Okay, when it comes to utilities, unless we are specifically paying for a utility, like sometimes we've been asked to pay electricity or water or something, but unless we tell you otherwise, this is always going to include 2 cell phone plans and
Yep.
Starlink internet service. And it's the same amount every month.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to change on this is going to be maybe the pesos, because see, Starlink and Telcel we pay in pesos, but AT&T we pay in US dollars.
Yep.
So we have an AT&T plan for both of us, and we have a like $10 or $11 a month Telcel plan for me, and then we have Starlink.
Yep. That's it.
3,981 pesos for the month, or $234. And as always, we want to remind you that this is not going to include anything that typically would not be purchased by everybody. So it's not going to include cigars, streaming services, gifts, mail forwarding services, any kind of subscriptions. Those are personal choices
Yep.
you make with your discretionary funds. We don't consider those living
No.
expenses.
No, and everybody has different options on that, so.
Yeah. This one's going to be fun though. All right, so let's talk about what this really came down to. This is our accommodations. activities, groceries, insurance, medical expenses, personal services, restaurants, transportation, and utilities. Are you ready, baby? What is the grand total, baby?
72,854 pesos.
Or,
$4,267.
or,
$147 a day.
but what if that was rent and not an Airbnb? Suddenly, that 72,854 becomes,
A lot less, 50,948.
and 4,267 becomes,
That number is 2,997, just under the $3,000.
$3,000.
Yep.
Right. And so ultimately that means instead of $147 a day, we were really going to be spending.
Right at about $100 a day, 103 total.
So that's pretty impressive, actually. If we had actually paid rent, we would have made that goal of less than $3,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have lived comfortably. Eating out, how many days a week?
Mm-hmm.
And that included some pretty expensive meals. That included activities. I mean, it's not like we didn't have anything to do.
No.
We had a nice dippy pool to play in. Yeah, good deal. So in comparison, we'll keep these rent-based. Zakia was costing us $24.40 a month. San Miguel was costing us about $3,403 a month. Valladolid, $2,997 a month. San Miguel ended up being the most expensive.
Well, and that's not
Well,
quite
we're
a
not-
shock. But then, you throw in there as well, you're going to have SLP's not going to be that far off of what SMA
Right.
was.
Right.
And El Tejar is going to be sort of in there, maybe a little below, but that was all house.
Yeah, that was us just paying for a house that we were just stupid and just wanted to buy.
Because El Tejar really wasn't very expensive at all.
Mm-mm.
The town,
Right.
going to Veracruz, or if you went into Boca, things got a little pricier real quick. But that was jacked up because of that house. So
The house and the parties.
yeah,
That was it.
was
we did
what
really
it was.
well.
We did.
So that is the wrap up for the expenses. Again, if we had paid rent, not Airbnb, we would have been living on less than $3,000 a month and living quite well, honestly. So let's talk about what we liked about Valladolid.
Oh, there's so much to say there. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's a vibrant but quaint little town with a lot of things to do, with a lot of cultural activities, both in Centro and then very nearby. And that's going to become even easier at the beginning of 2024 because the train's going to be coming through.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, you're literally going to be able to get on the Mayan train, and in 25 minutes, you're going to be at Chichen Itza.
That's impressive.
So that's going to make things, a whole lot easier when that is actually open. The food was good.
Yeah.
Of course, we love the food. I mean,
We like Yucatecan food, so.
hard to go wrong there. The people, again,
Fantastic. I like that Valladolid is in the middle of just about everything. You are at a very good launching point for visiting numerous different cenotes, different archaeological sites. You're not too far from Tulum, you're not too far from Cancun, you're not too far from Mérida. It's a good home base for exploring.
Place we would ever ultimately call home. I think the couple of things that was eliminated are proximity to an airport.
Yeah, and hospital.
And I mean, even with the train, that still.
And the shopping options.
And the shopping
Let's
options.
be honest. There was the mall was a tiny strip mall with limited options. What they had was great. I mean, there was a hobby fabric store there.
A Nissan dealership in that.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's-
what they had available was good. There was even a little movie theater right there, but it was very limited, and that was it. That little strip mall and that little Shadrui, that was it. Other than that, you had tiendas and you had the mercado. If you wanted to go to anything bigger than that, it was going to be an hour's drive minimum.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the infrastructure things, you know. Now,
The upside to that, though, is
the walkability of it is phenomenal.
it only gets busy during the day when the tour buses come in. After the tour buses are gone, this is a quiet little town. And it's
Slept
lovely.
well.
Lovely town.
Yes.
Lovely. Yes.
Yeah, and never encountered any issues at night. I mean, it was quiet. Even though that there was a dance club that was caddy corner, and we could hear them when we got in the dippy pool at night. But when you went to bed, no effect whatsoever.
No.
You know, so
There was plenty of necessary businesses around us. There was the dental office, the eyeglasses, doctors. I mean, all these things were readily available. It's just the bigger infrastructure things that you come to rely on more and more, particularly as you get older. Things that you're going to need, not really there. So.
And we sort of knew that going in. We just sort of wanted to go just because A, we love the food, and B, we got an opportunity to go back to Ekbalam and go see some things. And that's sort of, we knew that from the very beginning and went, okay, we'll take a month and enjoy that.
Just enjoy it, because we had paid a very short, brief, touristy type visit to Valladolid 2 years before that, and we liked it. And as I recall, it was a rainy, wet day that day, though, and we didn't really get to stay very long, but there was more to see.
Yeah.
Such as the digital mapping show, for example. So it was definitely on my list of things I wanted to give a little more time to experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so I think the final statement on it is a must-see to visit.
Oh, yes, for sure. For sure.
Is it going to make the list as far as living? No.
No, it's not. And it's not because of anything we don't like about the place. We do like it.
Yeah.
But there's certain needs that have to be met, and it doesn't meet those needs. So we think it's a wonderful place to visit. And if you're younger.
Yeah. and quite honestly, I know that particular Airbnb was not cheap, but if somebody was going there for a week and wanted a location to call home base and just spend a week doing this,
Yep.
that location can't be beat.
It's a prime spot.
I mean,
It really is.
And best part is all I gotta do is walk right across the street to the Zaki restaurant, and you can get some really good cochinita pibil.
Yeah.
So, and very affordable.
And you can swim in the cenote that has been there for thousands of years.
Yep.
So.
Of course, be prepared for the line. There was a good line to go in the cenote.
There was a good line.
Yes, there
It
was.
was a good line. That's true. I thought you
So-
said lime for a minute. I'm
Why
like,
not?
there was
No,
lime in the cenote?
No,
There was
the line was in my margarita.
There was lime on my cochinita.
So, but that's Valladolid.
We hope you enjoyed this assessment.
And we appreciate you spending the time
Yeah.
and everything that you guys have done for us. We appreciate all of that. Y'all have been outstanding. That'll wrap it up. Now we're on to Merida.
Thank you for joining us today. We are Gringos R Us.
Expats with a plan.
Remember, we're
We're
doing
doing
it.
it.
You
You
can
can
too.
Here's some other videos you might want to check out.
Hasta la próxima.
Adios.